the comments off because I'm about to flip the camera and I'm gonna finish what I started over on TikTok, but TikTok was not just it just wasn't TikToking today, and I'm literally not in the mood to be on there. If I'm gonna be on there talking to myself, I figure I might as well come on YouTube and at least get some watch hours out the deal. Because it just wasn't looking, it wasn't enough people in there. Nobody was talking, nobody was tapping. I gotta go. Bye. Like, and for anybody who's like, oh, I want to, oh, Alexa, pause. Shoot, I forgot you can't. Alexa, pause. Forgot you can't have music over here. For anybody who is thinking about, I need to go live, I want to start going live, you know, get on live, do your big one, try. You definitely need to try, but I don't want you to be getting on live literally like, okay, I'm talking to myself. Or if you're not feeling it, get off. Don't just stay on live and you're talking to one person who isn't tapping the screen, who isn't saying anything, who isn't making any comments. Like, that is literally not the point. Like, if you want to just go in practice mode just to talk to yourself and see how you get through a presentation, then do that. But um going live to just talk to yourself when you're like actually live, I'm like getting away from that. So I'm trying to move past that. I need to take my link out of my bio too. I forgot to do that. Now on YouTube you can see the link in the bio, no problem, but I need to take it out of my TikTok bio. TikTok has different buyers than other platforms. So if you are trying to sell anything online, that is a different demographic over there on TikTok. So I typically will take my link out of my bio completely on TikTok. Let me just unplug this phone. Why are we not on Wi-Fi? What are we doing? Jesus Christ. Let me see why it's not connected to the Wi-Fi. But yeah, if you are trying to do a presentation, you're trying to eventually tell somebody about your offer or whatever it is, if you notice the room is like dry and dead, get up off of there. Come over on YouTube. Like I said, at least on YouTube, even if nobody shows up, whoever does show up, it counts as watch hours, right? So why can I not switch accounts on here? I just need to switch accounts so I can take that link out of my profile. But yeah, if you just got here, I am about to flip the tripod around. Well, I'm about to flip the camera around so we can see the whiteboard. I was on TikTok a minute ago and it was not it was not the vibe. So I got off of there. I was only on for maybe like 20 minutes. It doesn't take long for me. Like, if I see there's not enough people in there and they're not saying anything, they're not like liking the live, I cut it now. I used to just stay and be like, oh, okay, I can use this. I can use this for content later. I'm not doing all of that. Like, I don't want to use it for content because also I noticed when you use those clips from your live, those clips don't really do numbers for real. Like, not like a fresh organic post that you make. They don't do the same numbers. So I don't know if TikTok doesn't even like push out when you do a clip from your live or what. You may be better off like downloading it and then you edit it on your own editing software, like, go in InShot or go in CapCut and edit it yourself, or even like iMovie, whatever you use. But yeah, I don't really like to use clips from my lives anymore. So no more of that. So let me flip the camera back to what we were talking about. So we were talking about the main 5 reasons why most nail techs will never hit 6 figures. Number 1 was confidence. I talked about, they're pricing based off what other people charge. They are having these client interactions where the client is lowballing them, asking them for all kind of discounts, talking to them crazy, abusing the rules, booking, trying to book in the DMs, even though you have a booking site, all the things. And then I also talked about missed opportunities, and how a lack of confidence will have you saying no to things you really could say yes to, but you're too shy, scared, introverted, whatever excuse you might use. And you are saying no to things you really should be saying yes to, especially things that involve money, right? A lot of people who have confidence issues in business is because they have some type of money trauma that they haven't resolved yet. So they may price based off their money trauma and say, well, I wouldn't pay more than $100 for this. So I'm not going to charge more than $100 for this, regardless of what their overhead is, regardless of their level of skill. Some people have those issues. Literally, whatever you have going on in your personal life is going to spill over into your business life if you are not careful and not aware of it, right? So it's not a one day you wake up and you're suddenly confident and you never make any mistakes. It's just a gradual thing, and just recognizing my personal issues are getting in the way of my business. If I have horrible spending habits on a personal level, I'm probably going to have horrible spending habits in my business. So even when your business starts making money, you may end up either going broke or just literally making bad financial decisions because you are not a good steward over your money in your personal life. It's the same person. You are the same person, whether you're in business mode or personal mode. At the end of the day, your subconscious and deep down in there, same person. But I'm not going to get too woo woo. So that was reason number one. It was confidence. And I was talking about the three reasons why, um, having a lack of confidence can really affect your money as a beauty provider, nail tech, really any type of business owner. So I'm a nail tech by trade. I'm also other things. I'm also a business owner. A lot of these traits, these are the things I've seen in all kinds of business owners. It's not just nail techs, not just people in the beauty industry. It's literally any type of business owner that's saying, I'm not making enough money, I'm struggling with this, I don't have enough visibility, I don't know what to do on my social media, all the things they say. It's usually one of these five reasons. Sometimes it's all five of the reasons. So number two is systems. So when I always talk about, I have more than one business, and one of them is nothing to do with nails. My other business is focused on helping businesses streamline their systems and find hidden money in their business. So I don't talk about it very much at all on my nail page, because honestly, that's two different audiences. My nail audience, they barely can handle this. When I start talking about automations and tech and all of that, their eyes are going to glaze over. So that's why I really don't even bring that up. That's not really my target audience for that kind of stuff. So I just don't. But systems, even for a beauty professional, a lack of systems will affect your money. What type of systems am I talking about? Well, let's start with the obvious one, the booking site. All right. A lot of nail techs are like, I don't want to spend money because, I'm already trying to get clients. I don't have money to be spending on a booking site, right? Or they'll say the clients don't know how to use it, right? They don't know how, or they don't want to, right? So what does that go back to? That goes back to confidence. Why are you running your business? Because clients are pretending, and yeah, I said pretending they don't know how to use a booking site. These same clients know how to order off Amazon, Shein, Fashion Nova. They know how to order their groceries. They know how to order an Uber. They know how to book a flight. They know how to do everything else online. But now when it's time to book a nail appointment, a simple nail appointment, because all they're saying is, it's just nails, it's not important. Okay, so now you're gonna act like you don't know how to use a booking site. I call BS. Or they'll say, my clients don't want that. They don't want that. Okay, but again, are they running the business? Or are you running your business? So instead of you having a booking site, because it makes your life easier, it keeps you organized, and keeps you on track, and gives you analytics so you can see your numbers, you say, I'm gonna do what the client wants and let them run my business. I'm not gonna have a booking site. I'm gonna tell them to DM me. I'm going to tell them to DM me, and that's how I'm going to book them. I'm going to tell them to text me, and that's how I'm going to book them. Right? So the problems with this, what are the problems with that? Because some people are like, it's working for me. Is it working for you? Because these same people that say it's working for them will be in my DMs asking me, can I help them? And they're thinking about leaving the industry because they're not making any money. Right? So they'll say, I tell them to DM me, right? The client DMs you at 3 a.m. You weren't awake, you weren't looking at your social media, you don't see it till 8 a.m. right? They want an appointment, you see it at 8 a.m. 5 hours have passed, they're up because they just got off of work or something. So they move on from you, they go to the next provider who actually has a booking site, and lo and behold, they know how to use booking sites, and they book that other person. You missed out on that money because you were 5 hours behind, right? Or you say, text me. Let's just say they text you at the same time, right? Text you at the same time. Again, you're sleeping. You wake up, OMG, I'm so sorry. Do you still need to come? No, girl, I've moved on. Or they have 50 million questions. So now you're trying to get ready for your day. They're asking all of these questions via text back and forth, questions that a booking site could probably answer for them. They may be asking you all of these questions and still not book. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying. A lot of the time, the person who's asking the most questions is going to be the person who's not going to spend any money, right? So not only do you not have a booking site, you also haven't taken advantage of another handy system that I like. Automation software, right? Don't panic. If you are watching this, don't let these two words make you panic. What kind of automation software can handle your DMs? Well, ManyChat is one of them. The comments aren't on, or I would just put a comment in the chat. But ManyChat, it's a free app. It's an app. You can use it on the web, even if you don't want to download it. It will automate your DMs, right? So when the person DMs you at 3 a.m., and you either don't have a booking site or you have a price list or whatnot, you can actually do an auto response, right? You can set up FAQs. So if you know people are always asking where are you located, you can set that up. If they're always asking how much for this, your most popular service, you can do that. If a brand even DMs you and says, hey, we got a brand deal for you, where should we send you more details, right? You can set up ManyChat to automate all of that. Now, if you don't have a booking site, you really are just losing money. But even if you don't have a booking site, that client DMs you at 3 a.m. with ManyChat, you can say, hey, thanks for reaching out. Our business hours are from this time to this time. Somebody will respond to you as soon as your message, as soon as we open up for the next day, right? Now, it may not keep the client from leaving and booking with somebody else who has a booking site, but at least they don't feel like you ignored them for 5 hours when you don't have this set up. Many of the social medias have automations already built in. Instagram does, as well as Facebook. But ManyChat, I feel like, is a little more detailed, right? So when you don't want to do any systems, you're losing out on money. You're losing out on money that you could be making while you're sleeping, while you're doing other things. And a lot of nail techs are like, well, I don't want to pay for it. Not even realizing a booking site is a business expense, right? What are business expenses? They are tax deductible, right? I am not a tax professional. Go do your research. But business expenses are tax deductible. So yes, you're paying every month, but you will be able to deduct that from your taxes, right? So that's the first system. And the second system, which is, the automation software that's keeping the nail techs and other business beauty professionals from making real money. Okay. The third one, and it's really slept on, and I'm gonna mix two of them together. They are separate, but they're pretty much the same kind of thing. Email and SMS or text, right? Email and SMS marketing. Again, the nail techs are like, oh, you said systems. That sounds like tech. I'm not tech savvy. That is their favorite thing to say. I'm not tech savvy. I don't know. Yeah, you may not be tech savvy, but you didn't come out of the womb knowing how to use a smartphone. But here you are using a smartphone. You didn't maybe know all the gadgets in your new car that you just got, but here you are learning how to use them. Didn't know how to use a computer when you were born, but figured out how to use it. I could keep going. But email and SMS, this is literally like one of the most slept on money makers, especially for nail techs or beauty professionals in general. A lot of them don't think they need that. Oh, I'm just doing nails. I'm just doing hair. What do I need email marketing for? What do I need text marketing for? To be in communication and stay top of mind. I said this on one of my lives the other day. A client is not thinking about your business 24/7, but you need to be. So, how do you stay at top of mind? You are reaching out between appointments, you're following up. All of these are systems that can help you follow up, reach out without going crazy because you're doing clients or you're doing whatever else you're doing all of your personal stuff. You don't have time to like personally text all of your clients one by one. Some people have 100 clients. Are you going to sit there and send 100 text messages one by one? No, of course not. I didn't mean to put the dollar sign there. No, you're not going to do that one by one. Learning how to set up email and SMS marketing is going to help you. Asking for Google reviews so you can show up in the top of the search results. Half of them don't even have a Google business profile. That could technically be considered a system because you can connect your booking site to it. And when people find you on Google and they see, oh, she has a website, booking site, I can see all of her prices, I can see her work, and I can see the location, I can see everything and book the appointment, right? So they leave this on the table because they're like, I'm scared of that. That's for other people. That's for different type of businesses. That's for like office type businesses. I have a beauty business, so I don't have a need for text marketing or email marketing. Well, yeah, it worked for me when I have a client come to me for the very first time and they don't book their next appointment, which I always recommend y'all do. Try to get your clients to book before they get out of your chair. But if you don't get them to book before they get out of your chair, set up email and or SMS to text them around the time where they need to be coming back and say, hey, it was so good having you in on insert day, because you can set up your system to find their last appointment. It was so good seeing you on such and such a day. Hopefully your nails are still just as beautiful. However, even though they're amazing and beautiful still, they are probably grown out by now and it's time for your fill. Link to my booking site. So you can book your fill. Spots are filling up and they are limited this week. So, the sooner you book, the better. Now, will every client book based on that text or that email? No, not every single client. But if you send that out to 40 people and 30 of them book, that's 30 more people than would have booked than the people who never got an email or an SMS. So systems, another reason why a lot of nail techs and beauty professionals in general are not making the money they could be making. They do not have systems set up. They're scared of tech. They think this is all complicated. ManyChat, by the way, is very user friendly. Not only is it user friendly, they have so many tutorials and things like that and different automations you can do depending on what your goals are. So systems is the second reason. Third reason. Now, I do like being on YouTube because I have to flip the camera and I can't see how many people are looking. I turned the comments off, so that was on purpose. So I could just go through my presentation, get my reps in. And yeah, maybe I should start turning the camera around on TikTok. Let me see. I don't know. I doubt it. I'm not going to do it. Number 3 is the numbers. I hate how I write in sometimes. The numbers, right? Let me just redo it. That looks crazy. A lot of nail techs and beauty professionals do not know their numbers, right? They don't know. So when it comes to their pricing, they're pricing off of vibes, right? They're like, oh, well, the girl down the street charges 75. I want to try to undercut her. Let me charge 65. The clients are going to come to me. There's a couple problems with that. Couple problems. First problem is you have no idea. Oh, you have no idea why that nail tech is charging 75. You're clueless. You don't know what her overhead is. You don't know if somebody else is paying all of her bills. You don't know if somebody said, hey, just use my card and order all your nail supplies and you don't have to spend your own money. You have no idea why they're charging 75. They may know their numbers and be charging that because that makes sense. You are just going to undercut them because you feel like that's going to make clients come to you. So that's the first reason why I don't believe in pricing off of what other people are charging. The second reason is if you have a client over here who was loyal or semi-loyal to this nail tech. They've been going to them for a while. They like their work. They're happy with their work. They like the nail tech personally, like personality wise. And then here you come charging $10 less. And then all that loyalty goes out the window over $10. You have now acquired a client who will leave you over a few dollars. Congratulations. You have a chair hopper, right? So pricing off of vibes is, bad business, but a lot of nail techs do it. They also don't know their numbers. Oh, sorry, I forgot to write this here. Hold on. Chair hopper. So you've inherited a chair hopper. Congratulations. Congratulations. Also, because you don't know your numbers, you could be losing money, right? You could be losing money. You don't know though, because you don't know your numbers. So you're like, 65 sounds good. That sounds fair, right? You don't know any of your numbers. You don't know. Hold on, y'all. You don't know how much time you're taking on your services. You don't know the product costs. You don't know the space costs. You know the space costs, but you don't know how that relates to your pricing, right? So you might know, hey, I paid $1,200 a month for a suite, but you don't know breakdown. How many products are you using when you do that service? How much time is that service taking? Are you even timing yourself? No, of course not. You're not even factoring in all of your other business bills or expenses, whatever you want to say, and nor are you factoring in how to pay yourself, or if you can even pay yourself. Can you pay yourself? Because you also have to have enough for your personal bills, because you're running a business here. So any business, if you own a cleaning company and you are the head of the cleaning company, do you want your business to be making $1 million and then you don't have any personal money to handle your personal bills? No, of course not. That is supposed to cover all of that. You are supposed to be able to take a paycheck, because why are you even doing this? Otherwise, you're just basically running a charity and you're breaking even, or you're losing money, right? So let's do an example while I'm here. I think I got till 2 o'clock. Let me see what time it is. Hold on. Hold, please. It is 103. Oh, okay. I got time, but I'm not going to take the whole hour. All right. So when you don't know your numbers, I'm going to make that a little smaller so I can have more room for activities. You don't know your numbers. We're going to compare two nail techs, one on each side, nail tech A and nail tech B. All right. So nail tech A, and we're going to assume some things when we're doing this example. We're going to assume that they are both providing the same service. They're taking the same amount of time for this service. This was their only client for the day, and that they paid the same amount for their space and their products. Okay. So we're just going to assume that all of these things are the same for both A and B, right? So nail tech A, she's going to charge $125 for this service, right? Nail tech B says, I bet if I charge $75 for the same service, all the clients are going to book me because I'm so much cheaper. They're saving $50 whole, right? Because again, they're already lacking confidence. They're very client centric. You can care about clients, but you also need to care about yourself and your business. So pricing, because the clients are going to love you because you're so affordable, but you don't know your numbers. Well, let's just see how it works out. So let's just say we are doing the same service. We don't need to put what service it is. Doesn't really matter. Let's say this service takes us 2 hours, right? For both people. Both A and B take 2 hours to do this service. It is a one client day for both of them. They both pay $1,200 a month for a suite. And for anybody that is watching and it's like, that's not realistic, come move to a high cost of living area and tell me, just call around, call all the popular suites and tell me what they told you it's going to cost you every week. I realize if you live in the middle of nowhere, it's going to be cheaper. And if you luck up and somehow get a really good deal, it could be cheaper. But again, this is what we're using for this example. If you want to run it with a cheaper number, feel free, right? So let's get our calculator out before we continue, because $1,200 a month divided by 30 days is about $40 a day, right? Okay, so let's just keep that in mind. Now, products, let's just say for this particular service, they have used $8 worth of products, from the sanding bands to the acrylic to the primer to the other disposables like files, maybe even the dental bibs that some people use to cover their table, the gloves. I mean, we could keep going, right? So they're both spending about $8 per service just for this. So let's crunch some numbers. So Nail Tech A charges $125. Ooh. We got to deduct our $8 for the products. We got to deduct our $40 for the day. Remember, we only had one client this day. The more clients you do a day, the better this is going to be. But if you have a one client day and you're not charging the right amount, you're really going to lose money, right? Because you need to make at least $40 just to cover your space for the day. That's not even including the products. That's not even including paying yourself or any of the other overhead like taxes, insurance, licensing, etc. Right? So that leaves Nail Tech A with $77. But we need to divide that by 2 hours because that's how long it took her to do the service, remember? All right, so let's divide it by 2. $38.50 an hour. Not horrible. You know, it could be better, but it's not bad. And that's just a good baseline. Now, obviously, if you factor in taxes and insurance, it's going to be less than that, but still a decent enough wage to where you don't feel like you're being exploited and you're doing a lot of hard work and not really getting anything out of it, right? You still probably have enough to pay yourself and handle all of those other things that I mentioned. Now, let's do the numbers over here for our $75 Nail Tech B. All right, so we got $75. They are also paying $40 a day for their space, and their product cost for this particular service is $8. All right, that leaves them with $27. Well, but they also take 2 hours to do this service. But they want to be affordable for the clients, remember? All right, so let's see. 27 divided by 2, $13.50 an hour. Oh my. You know what? In a lot of states, the minimum wage is higher than $13.50 an hour. So why would somebody in their right mind with enough confidence charge $13.50 an hour when they could go work anywhere and make minimum wage? You could DoorDash for an hour and make more than $13.50. So as you can see, pricing off of vibes doesn't always make sense. Now, maybe if their space costs less per day or their products were less or they were faster, maybe they could charge 75. If you were able to do 75 in 1 hour, let's just run the numbers. Let's just see if the person was, doing this in 1 hour instead of 2. We'll run the numbers all over again. All right, 75 minus the 40 for the day. It already doesn't sit well with me that they have to take off half of that just for the space for the day, more than half. So minus the 40 would get them 35, but then we also have to minus the 8 for the products, right? Okay, so 35 minus 8, 27. So if it took them 1 hour, they're at least making 27 an hour. A lot of jobs still, which sadly I know they need to go up, a lot of jobs don't even pay 27. If they were faster, they could charge 75 and still make $27 an hour. However, if this person is getting 125 for a 2-hour service, no problem, why would you still only be 75? The person who values time is going to be willing to pay you. They're willing to pay them to take twice as long. Why couldn't you charge 125 if you're even faster? Questions that need answers. All right. So that's our numbers example. Let's move on to reason number 4. We were just talking about time, so that's the perfect segue, right? Let's move on. Number 4. Oh, let me get rid of this $40 a day. Number 4 is time management. We just talked about something. If a $75 service only takes an hour, once we did the breakdown, the nail tech was making $27 an hour, right? A livable wage. But the nail tech who takes 2 hours, once we broke it down, she was making like $13.50 an hour because she takes too long for that service. I see a lot of nail techs pricing the service that takes the longest at the lowest price. I don't understand. If you have a service that takes 2 hours and then you realize with your overhead that you're only going to be making less than minimum wage, I don't understand why a service taking 2 hours or more is the cheapest thing on your menu. That's the first thing I want to say about time management. The other thing I want to say is that nail tech, both of those nail techs had a one client day, right? So a lot of nail techs, the ones that aren't successful, the ones that aren't making money, they get sad and they're like, oh my God, I don't have any more clients. Woe is me. I am going to cry in my soup and I'm going to drown my sorrows. And maybe later I'll go to happy hour or I'm going to curl up in bed, rot and watch Netflix tonight. And then I'm going to just be sad about it. And I made my little $13.50 an hour. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. But I mean, at least I made something. You know, that's their favorite thing. At least I made something. Lack of confidence, missing opportunities, all the things, right? So the person with poor time management is doing all of this. They accept their fate making less than minimum wage. They get sad, they get upset, and they compare themselves to other people. Well, how come she's faster? How come she's able to charge 125 and I'm only able to make 13.50 an hour? They do all of that. They're using their time to do this. The successful nail tech, on the other hand, is saying, what could I be doing? What could I be doing? What could I be learning? Ooh, what could I be refining? All of the things. They ask these questions. What could I be doing instead? What could I be learning? I got a whole rest of my day to myself. Am I going to spend it being sad about making that $13.50 an hour earlier today? Because, you know, being sad and and complaining about it is actually not going to make me any money. The successful nail tech is like, hey, I don't waste time. I know time is something I can't get back. Oh, now that I have this time, I do need to practice my craft. Maybe I could charge more if I was better at what I'm doing. Maybe I need to work on marketing. Maybe I need to study what marketing is and not be scared of it and understand, I need to learn how to market myself. I'm clearly not marketing, my marketing, what I'm doing right now isn't working well enough. It's not bringing enough clients or it's not bringing the right clients, right? Oh, maybe I need to learn how to interact with my clients differently, right? Maybe you feel like the way you interact with your clients is hindering you in some way, right? Oh, okay. I don't really know email marketing. Let me go learn something new. Let me see if there's any YouTube videos on that, right? I'm going to learn this. I'm determined to learn this because I saw this nail tech talking about email marketing and she said a lot of us are missing so much money by not having it set up. And I know I don't know it, so I need to go learn it. Okay, and I know my money isn't where it needs to be because remember I only made $13.50 an hour. So maybe I can't pay anybody to teach me email marketing. I need to just figure out how I can go learn it. Maybe it's going to take me some time to learn it and to find the sources that give me the information I'm looking for. But you got nothing but time. Remember, that was a one client nail day, but you're managing the time. You understand that time is actually worth something too. You understand that learning all of these things can lead to more money. You are managing your time wisely. So again, a lot of nail techs do not manage their time wisely. They spend a lot of time complaining. They doom scroll. They go on social media and they're making a bunch of comments. They're being a consumer instead of a producer. Oh, I didn't even talk about content. I didn't even talk about content. I mean, honestly, everything here could be content. When you're saying, oh, I really researched how to interact with clients, and then you're making a story time, some type of content and saying, hey, I realized I went from making $13.50 an hour, to having $1,000 days once I realized this one thing about client interactions, because you did your research and you took the time. You had all the time in the world to learn something new, do something different, refine some things, and you either did all of this, some of this, or you went home and you got in the bed and you doom scrolled and you were like, I'm going to treat myself to a bottle of wine or whatever you were going to do. So time management is number four. Number four reason why I see nail techs not making any money out here, and saying they want to leave the industry and go get a regular job, because they're not making any money. They're not getting paid. And the number five reason really goes with time management. I kind of touched on it already, but I didn't give it a name. Diversification. So a lot of nail techs are very client centric, client focused, client centered, if you will. It's like being male centered for the women who are. They price based on what the client wants. They don't have the systems based on what the client wants. They don't know their numbers because they're not thinking about the numbers. They're only caring about, the client interaction and are the clients going to like me and all of that stuff, right? They don't care about the numbers. They care about, I don't want them to not like me. They're a people pleaser, right? Time management. They let the client play with them, right? They let the client book whenever. They squeeze people in when they really can't fit them in. They let clients come late and run over into other people's appointments, which also hurts their business. They're very client centered, right? They're like, oh, I need more money. They think that means more clients. I just need more clients. I just need to raise the prices on my clients. Well, you don't even have the confidence to raise your prices. You're already pricing, based on what the client wants. So you're not going to raise your prices. Let's be for real. So you say, I need more clients. Perfect. I had a one client nail day. I need more clients. And you could take more clients. Obviously, you got the whole day. But in the event that you didn't have more clients, if you diversify, you can have money even with fewer clients or not that many. You can still make money and stay in the industry. I want to be clear, stay in the industry. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I just had to go get a job. I decided to go to be a nurse. I'm going to go back to school for something. I really enjoy this, but I can't do it. I'm not making any money because they haven't diversified. What do I mean? So let's do the Starbucks example. If you've been on my TikTok, you've seen it before. I'm sorry in advance. I'm doing it again, right? So, now me getting dry erase on the wall. Let's talk about Starbucks. We're going to put Starbucks next to, people pleasing nail tech. Let's put her there. People pleasing nail tech is over here, right? All right, Starbucks, their product is coffee. Your product / service is nails. All right, cool. They're selling their coffee for $8. You said I'm gonna sell my nails for 75. That was the example we used. This is what we're gonna stick with it, right? So Starbucks, and let me make this smaller so I can have room. Hold on. All right. So Starbucks says we sell coffee. Cool. The people are buying their $8 coffee. That's amazing. You sell nails. One person booked for that $75. You realize you really just made $13.50 an hour. And that's something I never factor into this too. Coffee versus the nails. How fast can you make a cup of coffee? Couple minutes. How long does the nail set take? If it's taking you 2 hours and you're charging $75, again, time is money. But let's keep going. I don't want to get too off track. Starbucks said, well, we could just take our $8 and be happy with that. Happy that customer came and spent that $8. Or we could say, let's diversify. Well, what if they wanted mugs? What if they wanted some other kind of merch? What if they wanted coffee and they wanted food with their coffee? What if they're not in the mood for something savory and they want a dessert? Oh, what if they know somebody that loves Starbucks? They love Starbucks. Let me get them a gift card. Oh, what if they're at work and they don't have time to leave their desk to go get a Starbucks? Maybe they can order on the app. Oh, okay. What if they want to see the merch but not necessarily get the coffee? Oh, maybe they have a website where you can buy their merch. So Starbucks said we took one client that we could get $8 out of, and we sold them a mug for $20. Or maybe we sold them a piece of cake for $5, or some type of food. Oh, I had that backwards, but that's fine. We'll just say the food and the cake is $5. And maybe this is not all the same person, but they're increasing their opportunities to make money. They are diversifying. They're not saying we just sell coffee. That's all we do. You want a mug? Yeah, we don't have any mugs. Oh, you want merch? Yeah, we don't have merch. Oh, you want food with your coffee? We don't have any food. Oh, you want a dessert? We don't have that. Oh, you need to get a gift card? We don't have that. Oh, you would like to order, from remotely when you can't come in? We don't have that. Oh, you want to buy our merch online? We don't have that. They didn't say that. They diversified literally everything so they can increase their AOV, which is average order value. Meanwhile, the woe is me people pleaser nail tech is like, well, if I made my $13.50 an hour for my 2 hours of work, now I got 6 hours left in my work day, and I'm going to use that to complain instead of saying, well, I could be making press-ons and sell them on Etsy or my own website or at local events. Oh, I could even do my own local events. I could do online events. I could do a class. I could make merch. I could do products, physical products or digital. I could help other nail techs. Oh, no, they're not going to do all of that. You know why? Remember what I said? Well, I might have not said it on here. I might have said it on TikTok. Confidence is really the key. If you don't have this, really all of this is still going to fail. So the person who doesn't have this, they lack that belief in themselves. They're not going to be saying, okay, let me give myself a pep talk and get on and, make some press-ons or go live or make some content. I know there are other ways I could be getting paid. They're not going to be brainstorming. They are going to be too far down in their people pleasing, woe is me, to get out of that and say, what else could I be doing to make money? There is no way in 2026 I should be broke as a nail tech with a skill and a license and all the things, right? So the lack of confidence is going to keep them from either thinking about this or actually taking action on this, because the confidence, it gives you the boost you need to take the action, because what you know. Confidence is literally like an inner knowing what you're capable of, knowing you deserve better, knowing there's opportunities out there for you, knowing there are enough opportunities for everybody, right? So the nail tech people pleaser, woe is me, a lot of them who are not making money, they're like, yeah, I see other people doing this, but that's not for me. My confidence isn't where it needs to be. So they go about their life with no diversification. They say, I don't have any clients, because remember, they're very client centric. They say, I don't have any clients, and I had one too many days. Whoops. I had one too many days of making $13.50 an hour for 2 hours. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to have to quit and get a regular job, right? Because I can't make this work. Not you can't make it work, but you didn't decide to make it work. I was not even going to say try. You didn't decide to make it work. Decide. It's really a decision. A lot of people think they need motivation. They think they need, a pep talk. They need somebody to, really get them in gear. They need somebody to lead by example. You don't really need all of that. What you actually need is a decision. You need to decide, I want more for myself. I want to do more, be more, and have more. Do, be, have, right? But that starts with working on confidence. Even being able to acknowledge my confidence isn't where it needs to be. I need to work on that. That's a very powerful thing, to have self-awareness and say, I know I should be more confident. I need to figure out how I can be more confident. What do I need to do? Do I need to read a book? Do I need to watch a video? Do I need to meditate or pray or whatever you call it, right? Whatever you do, meditate. I think I spelled that right, right? The bad thing that I see, and I'm going to let y'all go because I've been yapping for a while. What I see is most nail techs already know this. They don't need me to come here and tell them this. They don't need me to come and tell them this. Let me see. If anybody is still here. No, nobody's still here. That's okay. But they don't need me to come and tell them this. They know this already. So I'm debating, do I want to leave this up? I think I am going to put this up. So what is stopping them from doing all of this when they know all of this? Well, a lot of it boils down to accountability, right? They don't have self accountability, nor do they have anyone else to help them with accountability. So when I'm saying systems and they're like, well, I'm not tech savvy, they have no one to show them on a personal level. When I'm saying your confidence doesn't needs to be better so you can have, a better business overall. They don't have anyone to lead by example, right? They don't have anyone to lead them in the right direction and to tell them, hey, this is what helped me. I've been where you've been, right? I'm in the same business as you. They don't have anyone to show them tools that they can use to really know their numbers so they can see, are you charging enough? Are you going to be confident enough to raise your prices? Are you going to be okay that maybe some clients may fall off, but that's going to make room for higher paying clients? Someone to hold them accountable about their time management, giving them deadlines, giving them SMART goals. SMART goals means specific, measurable, actionable, time based, and I forgot one. But look up SMART goals. Do you have someone giving you SMART goals? Do you have someone holding you accountable to say, hey, we're having a class tonight at this time, or let's meet one-on-one and this is the time and we got 30 minutes and we got to be efficient and we're going to get an action plan going? Do they have someone to say, hey, I'm looking at what you got going on. I see all of your talents. I see all your gifts. I see all your skills. Why are you not diversifying? Not only why are you not, but here's some ideas and here's how to execute, and I'm going to help you, right? A lot of them don't have that. So that is the reason why I do offer mentorship. Now, my mentorship is not for everybody. And I'm only saying this because I'm going to leave this YouTube video up. I usually private these videos after I get off live. I'm going to make this public. I do not usually say this on YouTube, but I'm doing it today. So I do offer mentorship, but let me tell you who it's not for, okay? Not for. So if anybody sees this video after the fact, do not click that link that I'm going to put in the description. Don't click it. I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to be like, buy my thing, buy my thing. I need you to buy my thing. I'm not other people. You don't have to buy nothing, especially if you fall in this category. If you lack follow through, what does that mean? It means you don't do what you say you're going to do. Even the very simplest of things. We have a meeting. You scheduled the time that you said worked for you. You continuously don't show up. You lack follow through. We have a meeting. You show up for the meeting. I say, here are 2 things I want you to have done by the time we meet again in a week. You come back in a week and you haven't done anything. And the only thing you are able to produce is a bunch of excuses. Don't click the link. Okay. So don't click it if you lack follow through. If you like to make excuses, if you are committed to chasing clients versus attracting clients, don't click that link. Don't do it. Okay. And if you are not ready to change your financial situation, if you're not ready to change your financial situation, if you fit in the category of this, do not click the link. I will be putting the link in the description once I post this video publicly on YouTube. Again, that'll be the first time I've ever posted that on YouTube, but it is what it is. So I'm going to get up off of here. I'm going to sign out. For anybody that came late and didn't see anything, you'll be able to rewind because I'm going to post the live video. And yeah, if you would like to work with me one-on-one so you can get out of your own way and not have to leave the beauty industry because you're not making any money, We get money over there. That is what we do. We get money, we fix confidence, we get your systems in place, we help you know your numbers, we work on your time management, and we help you diversify so you can get the bag that you deserve without chasing behind clients or having to quit. All right. So I will see y'all later. And I hope to see somebody in my mentorship. Cohort 2 starts next week. So yeah, get on it, guys. Bye, y'all.